welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be doing another card kit video with you from the Stamps of Life, and this is the December kit, and I'm so excited to share this kit with you because when I saw it on video, when Stephanie did it on her video, oh my gosh, the colors were amazing. So look at all the goodies that are in here. So let's go ahead and look at these. Are some heartfelt heartfelt little stickers. These are so cute. So they come in all various types of different shades of the pink, as well as a couple green. And look at these. These are just so pretty. So some heart stickers. And then what else do we have? We have a sentiment stamps that are thanks with love, and that is really pretty. It has these little lines on the top and on the bottom. Love you lots, happy birthday, a little note, love is sweet, and here's to a year as special as you. So those are some really sweet sentiments. And we also have some of these beautiful, and these are absolutely beautiful embellishments. These are little epoxy dots, but they have texture to them. I don't know if you guys can see this as clear on the video, but these are absolutely gorgeous. So I'm excited about using those. I love these colors. Oh my gosh, these colors together are beautiful. And we have some more snowflakes. These were in one of the previous kits. And we also have, these are super pretty. These are some chipboard pieces. Let me move this out of the way and let's take a look at some of these chipboard pieces. So we have the word happy. That's the same happy as is in the happy statement set. And then you can do some cupcakes here. There's some hearts. Ooh, these are super pretty and super fun. Flowers, aren't those cute? Love, love, love them. Then we have this love you word die. We also have some beautiful ribbon, and I think that, oh, these ribbons are so pretty. I think that some of the ribbons, and if you have the same kit, might be different in yours than they are in mine. But I do have a guava ribbon that's really pretty, and I also have, I think this is the candy. And then this is like a beige. It's almost like a texture. It's really, really nice. And then I have this almost like a leathery, this is like a mint almost, a mint color. Really, really pretty. I love this color. Let's see what that looks like. And then of course we have this beautiful paper pad. This is our pattern paper pad. This is super pretty. I love these colors. With the flowers of that were released this month with the stamps. So that's a beautiful design. I really love that. And then you have the cutouts. So these actually go with the die cuts that that were released this month in the Heart Flowers to Stamp. So you can take these dies and you can cut these out so you don't have to color. And then we have, and these look like sprinkles. It reminds me of ice cream. And then these pretty hearts, solid red, and then love you, that matches the love you die cut, or the die. More of the flowers, more of the sprinkles, and these are on all different colors. I love the mint and the candy colors together. Super pretty. Okay, and then I really like that design as well. And then some smaller flowers, some smaller love yous. And then it starts right back over. Okay, and then we also got this luggage tag, super cute. I'm gonna need this because I'm gonna be traveling over the holidays. And then we also have our solid paper, and I just love this color. This is the cherry color. We also have the guava and the blue jay and the ocean mint chip. And this is bubblegum. I think I was saying candy before, but I guess the pink color in here is the bubblegum color. And then we have strawberry, ginger snap, and then we have 4 pieces of the powdered sugar. And then you also have envelopes to go with it. And you also have a storage envelope that you can store everything in. And you also have an idea card. So if you just need ideas, thinking of how to use this kit, there's some pictures on the idea card. Super pretty. And I also just want to point out the stamp sets for the Die Hard Club is the Flower to Build 1, which is this one here. Again, the Die Hard Club got your heart flowers to stamp dies. And again, that goes with the paper pad as well. So it's the same flowers that are in the paper pad. Also new this month are the Flower to Build 3. I did purchase this separately, so I'm going to be making some cards with. I am going to start off by taking this sheet of flowers that's in the paper pad and using my shadow layers to die cut these out. So the large one will die cut the large flower, and then this flower, we have this shadow layer, we'll die cut that one. And I'm just gonna die cut all of these. We also have this one here, and this one will die cut that. And then once I die cut them, I'm gonna set them all aside and figure out how I'm gonna use them for this project. So I went ahead and die cut all of those beautiful flowers, and I love how there's the shading on them. It just looks so pretty, and these color combinations are gorgeous together. So as I'm flipping through the paper pad, I see these flowers, and did you know that these can be die cut as well? So check this out. So I'm gonna cut some of these out as well. I think these would look really, really pretty. Obviously, if you cut some of these out, like this one might overlap, so you really need to pick and choose which ones you want to take from this piece of paper if you are going to use these as die cuts. So maybe if I want to use the large one, the couple large ones here, I'll take one of the smaller ones down at the bottom. So I'm gonna die cut a few of these. So I went ahead and die cut the outline paper, and even if I couldn't get the whole thing, just like you see with this one, I still die cut it. And then you can see also with this one, I couldn't get the whole thing because you can actually layer these. So, you know, you can take a couple of the die cuts. I'm gonna show you. See how this one is cut off on the top? And you can just layer directly underneath that, and you can have a really pretty bouquet of flowers. So you don't have to waste it even if you couldn't get it cut out. See that? Isn't that pretty? So that's why I went ahead and did that. So I have all these die cuts, and now we're ready to make some cards. For this card, I'm using a piece of the ocean, and this is cut to 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And then I have a piece of the pink plaid. I think these colors are so pretty together. This is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And I'm going to be using these 3 or 4 flowers, these colors, and this happy chipboard. So I'm going to start out, I want to point out to you that there is a happy sentiment, or the happy statement set from Stamps of Life. It is the same font as this chipboard. So I think that is really, really pretty. So they have that, and they also have these stamps. I'm so happy, happy for you, happy to call you my friend. So I'm going to be using the happy to call you my friend. And I'm just going to add it. I'm not going to use the die cut. I'm actually going to use the chipboard with the stamp. So I'm just put the stamp face down on my Misty, and I am going to stamp this out. Just using some black ink. All right, so I'm going completes that card. You can see the dimension with the chipboard as well as with those beautiful embellishments that are in the center of those flowers. These colors are absolutely beautiful. For this card, I am going to be using a powdered sugar card base in A2 size, piece of guava that is cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and a piece of ocean that's cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And I'm also going to be using all of these pieces that I cut out of the paper pad, even the ones that have the mess ups, okay? So you can see all the little pieces that I'm using. All right, so I'm gonna start out by taking my ocean cardstock, and I'm just going to layer these pieces the way that I want them on this card. I'm gonna be making kind of like a background. So instead of stamping, I'm using the die cuts. So as you can see, some of this die cut is messed up here and here, so I'm gonna make sure that that piece goes off of the card, off of the card layer. And then this piece as well, so that piece is gonna hang off the bottom. We're gonna make sure that one hangs off as well. These pieces have a little bit of from the other flowers on them, so I'm gonna put those up towards the top. And if I don't get all of them cut off, that's okay, because I'm gonna cut off the excess here. Yeah, so it looks like some of it's gonna have a little overhang on the print, but that's okay. So I'm gonna put them just the way that I want them, and then I'm gonna glue them down. Isn't that pretty? Just love that. So instead of stamping, you can actually just make a pattern with your die cuts. Next, I die cut these two scalloped rectangles, and I am going to take my white one and I am going to stamp a sentiment on it. And it's going to be the sentiment "Love You Lots" that came with the kit. And I'm going to use my guava ink. Same color as the guava cardstock that I'm going to be using on the card. And we need to, I don't think I got the tip of that. There we go. All right, now. And that completes this card. So you can see the dimension and the beautiful background. I think that's turned out super pretty. I really love that. For this next card, I'm using a card base and powdered sugar, cut 8-2 in size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. A piece of mint chip cut at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then a piece of the striped pattern paper, and this one is cut at 4 and 5 1/4. I'm also using 3 of these die cuts, and I'm also going to be using the Happy chipboard, and I'm going to be using some embellishments, and also I'm going to be using a stamp set, which we'll get to in just a moment. All right, so I'm going to start out, and I'm just going to position these flowers where I want them. And I'm going to go ahead and adhere those down. So before I push down on the entire thing, I want to make sure that these are adhered underneath. So let me go ahead and slide these right underneath. And let me just hold that down. Next, I'm taking a piece of the powdered sugar cardstock, and I'm going to be using the Happy Sentiment stamps, and I'm going to use the I'm so and for you. So it's going to say I'm so happy for you. So I'm going to stamp the 2 stamps out. And then I'm just going to snip these. So I'm going to go ahead and apply liquid glue. And I'm going to start attaching these to my pattern paper. So now I'm just going to position the word happy where I want it and see where I want the I'm so. All right, so I'm gonna want it tucked right underneath that H. So I'm gonna go ahead and apply my glue and apply this before I put the word happy down, just to make sure it's where I want it to go. So I'm making sure that the H and the Y are just over top of that stamp sentiment. I just think that looks really nice. I'm so happy for you. Okay, now we're going to add some centers. I just love these embellishments. These are so pretty. I think I'm going to do the red over here just to bring out some more of that red that's in this one. And then I will do, maybe I'll do a blue, bring out some of these other colors. There. All right, so now we're going to take this and attach this to our mint chip layer. And then we're going to attach this to our card base. And there's our card. Look how pretty that turned out. I just love it. I love these flower cutouts. I think they're so beautiful. So here's just an example of how you can use your dies, your flower dies from the flower to build dies to make your flowers by just die cutting and then layering the pieces on one another. So you can see how I cut the blue jay paper, the strawberry paper, and then the bubblegum paper. So you can see what that looks like there. And then you would just glue all those pieces together. So just to put these together, just turn it over and add some glue. Now you could have done double-sided adhesive on the back of this cardstock, and then you wouldn't have to worry about the glue, and you could have just made it like a sticker. So here are all my die cuts put together, and I just want to mention I did get my inspiration from this piece of paper here. So I went with the colors that are in here, so you can see how we've got, you know, some of the pink, then we have the green, and then the pink center. So that's where I got my inspiration from. Strawberry, the blue jay, and then the pink. So I think those are beautiful colors. I cut a piece of cardstock down, it's the powdered sugar cardstock, down to 4 by 5 1/4. And I am going to use this Thanks with Love stamp that came with the kit, and I'm going to position it a little bit towards the bottom. And I'm using my strawberry ink to ink this up. And I'm just gonna do it one more time just because I want a really dark impression. So next I'm going to take my flowers and I'm just gonna position them where I want them to go on my card. I'm gonna layer them just a little bit. Okay, and once I have them, next I'm going to take the strawberry cardstock, which is measured at 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and I am going to adhere this piece directly to the strawberry cardstock. Then I'm going to take that entire layer and I'm going to add glue. I'm going to be putting this on a piece of the powdered sugar A2 card base. So that's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. So there's my completed card. I think that looks absolutely beautiful. I love how that red color, everything just pops. For this next card, I'm using the Blue Jay A2 card base, and I am cut a layer of cherry, and this is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8, and then a piece of the pattern paper measures 3 by 4 1/8. I'm going to start with these two pieces, and I am going to adhere the pattern paper towards the bottom of this layer, of the cherry layer. It's easiest if you use glue for this step, because you want to make sure that it is adhered perfectly on this paper, and if you're using tape and you mess up, you may not be able to lift it, so you have some wiggle room here. Next, I'm going to take some of this ribbon that came with the kit, and I'm just going to center it over where these papers meet, and I am going to just add some tape. So I'm adding some tape to the back just to hold this down. And then I'll just snip off what's not needed. Next, I'm going to adhere these layers together. So I just die cut some of the flower shapes, and I cut them out of various color paper. all the colors that match the patterns in this pattern paper. And I am just going to make a really thick layer of a flower. So I'm adding more than just 2 or 3 layers. I went ahead and die cut a few, and we'll add those. So next I'm going to add this flower to my card. So I'm going to put some glue on the back. And that's going to go off to the left, right over top of the ribbon. Okay, and then I die cut from the word die love you. I die cut that out of some blue jay. So here's my card. I was going to add some more of these little blue ones, but I don't have enough. I wanted at least 2 more, so I was going to add those there, but I'm just going to leave that as is. So there's my card, and you can see the dimension and all of the layers there on the flowers, on the flower, and that completes that card. My next card, I have a card base that's cut to an A2 size, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. I have a piece of cherry cardstock, and this is cut to 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. And then the sprinkle cardstock, this is cut to 4 by 5 1/4. And then I have a circle cut out of the powdered sugar with my circle die. And then I have this piece of pattern paper, and this I cut out of my mini envelope die from the Stamps of Life. So I cut that out of the pattern paper. So first I'm going to start off by making my envelope, and I'm just going to fold along these score lines. And I'm going to go ahead and apply some adhesive to seal my envelope. And I'm just applying a very thin layer. I'm not applying it all the way down to the bottom because I don't want that sticking onto the inside of the envelope. This is the cutest die ever. Look at that. Isn't that adorable? I cut a piece of powdered sugar cardstock down to 2 1/4 by 3, and I'm going to be using the sentiment, a little note, from the stamp set, and I'm just going to stamp that right at the top. Next, I cut a piece of the ocean cardstock down to 2 3/8 by 3 1/8, and I am just going to layer these on top of each other. Okay, and then that fits in the envelope just like that. Okay, all right, so next I'm going to take some of this, I don't even know what it's called. It's like a ribbon. It's almost has a leathery feel. And I'm going to put this around the back, making sure that it is flat. All right, I'm gonna have to put some hot glue to keep this up. But we'll see. All right, I wanna make sure it's flat here. So what I'm gonna do is, because there is some dimension on here, and look, that note little fell out, I'm gonna add some foam adhesive to make it stand up, okay? So we're gonna add some foam adhesive here, because this is gonna adhere to the circle. So I think what we'll do is we're gonna just do the foam adhesive above this ribbon. I keep calling it ribbon, but it's not ribbon. It's, I don't know. Would you classify that as ribbon? I don't know. And then this way, this foam adhesive is the same thickness as the ribbon. Okay. And we won't have any problems adhering it, because if I just added glue, then it would not adhere flat. All right, I'm gonna cut those strings off in just a minute. I just got to make sure I'm satisfied before I cut these strings off. Okay. All right, my hot glue is warming up. So once that warms up, I'm going to hot glue the middle down so that it's flat, and then we'll cut the strings off. But in the meantime, I want to add these chipboard hearts. Let me go ahead and stick my note back in here. Oh, how cute is that? And I'm not sure if I'm going to do red because there's no red in here, but I might add some red. All right, let me wait on those. So right now I'm just positioning where I want them to go. Okay, so I'm just going to come in here with my hot glue gun, and I'm just going to add a little piece of hot glue, and then I'm going to press this down just to make sure that that stays flat. And then once I have that, I'm gonna snip. Man, my scissors aren't even cutting through here. Okay. My goodness, this stuff's strong. All right, so now let's see where I want to add the rest of these hearts. These are so cute. I'm gonna have to get more of these. These are so adorable. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and adhere these hearts. All right, and the last thing I'm gonna do is inside, I am going to add the Sentiment Love You Lots. This comes from the card kit. All right, isn't that adorable? So let me zoom out a little bit so you can see. That is so cute. So I love these colors. We've got the cherry and then the ocean cardstock with the sprinkles and this little envelope die, just so cute. So you can pull this out. You can write a little message on here, or if you wanted just to add some more stamps or whatever, you could do that as well, excuse me. And then that just sticks right back in there. And then when you open it up, love you lots. So there is my